why you don't try make a 3D game? Or you can't do that? It's been 3 months since Jotaro said I couldn't make a 3D game, and I set out to prove him wrong. But, well, he was kind of right. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing at this point, but I'm not gonna let that stop me. So I put my game on Steam, and it's currently around the top 50 most wishlisted game on Steam, which is insane and also really stupid. So there's really no going back at this point, and if I don't finish this, I'm f***ed. So let's get to work. In the last episode, we made a little robot friend called Billy. He's completely and utterly useless, but kind of cute. That's also what my mom says about me, but without the cute part, so just completely and utterly useless. Anyway, we're gonna start off this episode by making a new pistol model, because the old one is literally just 2 squares stacked on top of each other, and when Roblox Boy69 tells you that your pistol model looks like shit, it's probably time to change it up. So this new one I made has at least like 5 squares or something, which is like twice as good as the old one. And here it is in game. I even added animations to the pistol, and those little empty bullet things that fly to the side of the gun when you shoot. Yeah, I know how weapons work, duh. Next up on my modeling list is a new enemy, because currently the only enemy in the game is this dude, and I mean, I don't think I need to explain why we need a new one. But he do be looking kinda thick though. And in the previous episode we made our little robot friend Billy. Boom! Catch! That's totally lava. So we're gonna make a robot enemy as well. Now, since I still suck at making 3D models, I'm just gonna go ahead and like stack 3 cubes on top of each other, and yeah, I mean, kind of looks like a robot. So I slapped him into the game, and here he is in action. He might look a bit tame right now, but don't be fooled. If you as much as touch his toe, he's gonna wake up and murder you and your entire family. Remember, this is a killer robot you're looking at here. And so I gave him an angry face and did some quick animations, and he will now chase us around the map. Then I made a quick little test map and a couple of robot clones and had an epic battle with them. Now this clip would probably be impressive if their bullets could actually damage me, which they can't, because I don't like losing, and therefore I turned off the damage on the player. Yeah, f*** you robots, you dumbasses. Anyway, a lot of you weebs want me to give Carlson a katana, so you can do melee attacks and slice enemies, which is actually a pretty good idea. And most FPS games have some sort of melee attack, whether that be Doom's chainsaw or GoldenEye's bitch slap. Yeah, you could literally slap the f***ing life out of people in GoldenEye. It was pretty golden. It's funny, because it's called Golden Eye, and I said gold. Okay, so I'm not gonna have something as iconic as slapping the shit out of your enemies, but instead I made a katana model to please all of my weebs out there. But hear me out, it's not just any katana, it's a katana laser grappler gun thing. Now you might be asking, what the f***? And yeah, you're absolutely right, I ask myself that every day too. So first I added some slice animations. Shop shop. Now it does look really bad, so I added some trails to hide the bad animations, and ta-da, it looks kinda sick. Even though the animations are absolutely garbage. Just like my coding skills. I also made the gun duck whenever you slice, so you don't slice your own gun, because that's not a very good idea. And then I made some particles using Unity's particle system. Now the Unity particle system is actually super versatile, and you can do just about anything with it. Next week I'm actually planning on curing my crippling depression using Unity's particle system, so stay tuned for that. Might even make a tutorial about it on my tutorial channel. Anyway, here is how the katana looks so far. It goes shop shop and enemy goes bye bye, if you catch my drift. Smash like now if that makes you go, wow, that was really cool. But remember that this is not just any katana, it's the ultimate grappling katana. So now you can use the backside to swing around with it. I also made it so you can grapple onto enemies, so here's another clip, which is, I totally didn't spend hours trying to record this, what do you mean, don't judge me. It's still a bit rough though, but it's pretty fun, and the movement feels much better now as you have many more options. And also performing a shop shop on the enemies is just super satisfying. So, do you remember how we just spent a lot of time putting together these new robot enemies? Yeah, me too, so I'm just gonna go ahead and Now, the reason I had to yeet the new enemy is because, well, they suck. If you remember 3 episodes ago, I said, physics make me go yes. And this guy is clearly not physics, so he makes me go no. Therefore, we need to make the enemies more like Billy, so we can push them around and they're actually interactable. So I did a bunch of boring code which nobody cares about. Get it out of here! And basically this is just inverse kinematics. So instead of having to animate the robots, they will just walk by themselves and I don't have to do anything, which is great. Now if you forgot what inverse kinematics are, here's a recap from my previous video. Now if you don't know what inverse kinematics are, it's basically just kinematics, but inverse. Yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, inverse kinematics are great. Just look how great that is. Wow, good job me. So I fixed it and well, then he wanted to show me the dance of his people, and I'm not gonna lie, this boy got some moves. Some might even say he'd be looking kinda thick. Now his legs are kinda like jelly right now, and clearly this boy is in need of some calcium. So I got me some fresh milk to clear my head, and I did a bunch more boring code. Get out of here! And just like that, he's now really good at balancing. I said, just like that, he's now really good at balancing. Easy peasy. And when I say he's really good at balancing, I mean he's terrible at balancing. It was ironic. He's out here looking like my weak ass after one drink. Guys, this is literally me and the boys at 2 AM after drinking too much milk. Am I right, gamers? Smash like if this is also you and the boys after drinking too much milk. And finally, we need to give the robot some pathfinding. Now, if you don't know what pathfinding is, it's basically just finding paths. Yeah, so we can use it to make the robots find the shortest path to the player. But here is the problem. Unity's built-in pathfinding is not as versatile as their particle system, and it does not like physics. So if I try to use it, this is what happens. Now you should always remember the first rule of programming. Programming. Also remember the second rule, Dani is really dumb, so probably shouldn't listen to him, and also don't try this at home. Anyway, instead of finding a proper solution to the problem, I ended up finding a way to work around it, because that's how to be a good developer. So I just enabled the pathfinding, find a path, extract that path, and then disable the pathfinding again. This way, all of the boring stuff is being handled for me. I don't have to do anything complicated, which is great, and before my physics are ruined, I just turn off the pathfinding again. Now you might be saying, isn't this a terrible solution prone to error? Shut it, kiddo, nobody asked for your opinion. Go back to school. And once that was implemented, he will now follow the player around and can navigate properly. You can also tweak most of the values, so let's for example give him a lot of recoil and see what happens. So we now have a bunch of drunk robots walking around and falling all over the place, which is exactly what I wanted. And with all of the hard work out of the way, it's very easy to add new enemies now. So I made a big boy, which is basically just the normal enemies, but he's a big boy, so yeah. And to give the player more movement options, I made it so you can dash off the enemies when you're slicing them in the air. So for example, by holding back, you fly backwards. If you hold forward, you fly forwards. And if you hold to the right, yeah, you guessed it, you fly to the left. Now, when it comes to games and making them feel good to play, it's very important with feedback, which Carlson currently has very little of, especially considering you can't even take damage currently. So here's what I want to add. First off, just health and damage. Then I want to get some hit markers in the game. And finally, some jump/landing feedback. A good example of this is Cluster Truck, where you really feel each landing and jump, generally achieved by smoothly moving the camera down when landing. So first I added an HP bar and a damage indicator, so whenever you take damage, you can see where the damage came from. It's kind of hard to see, but there's like a red arrow in the middle of your screen whenever you get shot. Next up, we have hit markers, where the color and the size will depend on what you hit. If it's for example a headshot, which is a critical damage, you'll get a yellow hit marker and twice the damage. And finally, I added some offset to the camera whenever you land to give it more of that juicy impact. There's also some smoke popping up if you fall with a high enough speed. It still kinda needs some tweaking, but it's already feeling much better to play. Now, not to brag or anything, but since I'm such an amazing programmer, adding new enemies is really easy with my new and improved code. All I have to do is just scale up the enemy and we just suddenly have a working boss enemy. Dumbass robot, suck my big fat... Oh, you're his dad? Me and Larry were just playing, right, Larry? Yeah, it was it's just a joke. Then Bacteria Slayer tweeted a picture at me, follow me on Twitter by the way, showing a milk bot. And I like milk, so let's test our new system out by just quickly adding this milk bot thing. So I made a very quick model, put an angry face on him, and there we go. Not sure if I'm actually gonna add this to the game, but the idea is pretty cool, and it goes to show that the code is kind of working at least, which is good. You know what most games have? A main menu. So, you know, you can actually interact with the game. Now, the old main menu of Carlson has been killed, so currently there is no menu in the game. Therefore, we should probably make one. So the first thing I did was put together a scene which will be the background of the menu. Then I added some buttons you can click because, you know what they say, button cool. And the only button that currently works is the endless one, which just takes you to an arena where you can fight infinite amounts of enemies, which is pretty useful for testing. Just kidding, that's a lie. I'm using that as an excuse because I just like to dunk on robots, because it's fun. And I think for the future it could be fun to turn this endless mode into a survival game mode kind of thing, where you get points for killing enemies and you can use them to buy weapons and other upgrades like double jump and speed and armor and whatever. But for now I first want to focus on the single player, but I think it would sort of work like a roguelike kind of thing, which would be cool. So if you want to play this game when it's done, make sure to smash that wishlist button on Steam right now, and let's try to get to top 40 on the Steam wishlist charts. I just find it really funny how we're in the top 50. There's so many like professional and good games, and then there's Carlson, this scuffed ass piece of shit game with like the worst store page the world has ever seen that I put together in like 5 minutes, and I haven't updated it in 2 months. Yet Carlson is in top 50 on Steam wishlist. Now the game is still lacking many things, one of which is music, and obviously I also want to add more maps for the single player, which we will do more of in the next video. So make sure you smash subscribe so you don't miss it, and I think making the maps is going to take a lot of time, especially considering level design is really tough and I have no previous experience with it, so I don't really know what I'm doing. But I'm spending a little time every day researching and practicing level design so that I can hopefully make some fun and interesting levels. I also always post updates on Twitter and our Discord server, Instagram, Facebook, so you know, check out the links in the description, boy. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I like your face, you're great. Smash like if you like and dislike if you don't. Also, Davey504.
Nice question. Do you like milk? I don't like milk.
I can't believe you would say such a thing, and I challenge you to a 1v1. Okay, that's it. Remember to drink milk, hit Billy, and beat your will.